How many people have been to horse races before? You go place, your $100 down on the color of the horse that you like. Watch the way your mind works on rationalizing the hell out of why that horse is going to win. Oh, look at that jockey. Look, he's tight in here. He's got really good rims. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because once we make commitments, there is this incredible natural tendency to be stubbornly consistent with it. Why? Because we want to believe that we're making the right choice. We want to believe. We are believers. That's what makes us unique as animals, unlike other animals, that we want to believe that the choices we make are correct choices. You go buy a car. I always love these car examples because they're raw. I just love the rawness of the car exchange, sometimes for fun, I'll just go, hell, I never buy a car, Well, once every 10 years, I have a used Beamer. But it's just fun going in there and just playing the game, I just like going and hanging out. Some people go like shopping for actually a car. I go shopping for experience. Because I want the biggest, nastiest sleazeball car lot in town. And I like being worked and watching me being worked. And here's how they work you. It's the language that they use. The language starts like this. You see a car and it says $18,000 for this particular car. And they say, Dominique, I think we can get that car for $18,000. But there's a hard-ass manager back there, and I don't know what kind of mood he's in today, but I'm going to go talk to him on your behalf. But let me ask you, if I can get that car for $17,500, I know it lists $18,000, but I'm on your side here. If I can get it for $17,500, would you buy the car? And because when I come back with not only $17,500, but when I come back and Dominique, I really worked him over, the manager. I got it for $17,000. You mentioned that, you would buy it at $17,500, and I already got Susie working on the paperwork. The key here is the if. If X, then Y. This is how, and then all of a sudden you're in the most awkward position in the world because you said yes and you got to sit there and look at the person and say no. And it just kills us. Why? Because we're good people. And we're good people. 9 out of 10 of us are good people. And that's why those gimmicks hurt. And they make us feel so awkward. Especially if I say, Dominique, what type of budget do you have for a car? And you say $17,000. I came in at $16,000. Hey, you can spend another $1,000 on these tires I'm going to sell you in a second. So if this if thing is a big deal. And under most circumstances, people that are using it already can get what they're ifing. You can really use this to your advantage. You can nullify them. Cut them off at the knees right off the bat. Bob, I've heard a lot about you. I understand you're really fair and you're cooperative and you really understand how to make a deal that works for both of us.
Absolutely.
Great. So when Bob rejects my outrageous offer, I go, Bob, that's not consistent with what I've heard in the past.
It's all in the eyes of the beholder.
So what you do is you're establishing your opponent's identity in advance. This probably happens to you too. You get to pay attention to it. You establish the identity in advance. So then they have a particular identity to live up to. Okay? If you see somebody as fair, then, or say that somebody's fair and cooperative, then they feel compelled to somehow live up to this. You walk into a Jenny Craig weight loss center and say, I'm here to lose these 50 pounds that I put on over the holiday. These 50 pounds I put on over the holiday. That's a big old turkey. That's a big old turkey. One of the things that they do to get a commitment and for you to be consistent with it is this. They have you say, they say, Gino, well, you put down that you want to lose 50 pounds. And now they say, put down 10 friends and family members that you have to show this to. And then I got to take it around and take that turkey with me. and show 10 people that I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Why do they do this? As opposed to me just keeping it to myself.
Publicize your efforts.
What's that?
Publicize your efforts.
Publicize my efforts, but it's also something else. Shame. It's like you don't want to be seen as somebody that can't come through and start something and finish. You know, our culture doesn't give a lot of credence to people that are just full of beginnings. I mean, you got to carry out something in your life. You got to show the ability to start and finish something. And so what they do, and weight loss is one of those things that people, and smoking, that people just start and quit, start and quit, start and quit, start and quit. One of the things is that if you show your friends are saying, you have to go, all of a sudden I keep carrying that turkey around, 4 months later, I'm going to have a little shame associated with it. And so I call it the public gaze. Public gaze. I mean, if you're looking to get commitments from people and for them to be consistent, you got to have them write it down, have them put it out in front of people. Have them, don't let it just stay in their minds. Stuff stays in my mind, just stays here, and I can just, yeah, I'm not in the mood. I'm just going to keep eating my turkey sandwiches. You know, you got to publicize it. So if you get a commitment on the basis of an effortful commitment, it's a much more powerful commitment. Remember when you had to buy tickets over the phone? And you'd wait, and wait, and wait. This was all by design. They have figured that if you keep waiting, that by the time, they don't list prices too. They used to not list the ticket prices. By the time you wait 50 minutes and your ear hurts because you're pressing the darn phone, once you hear that U2, which you thought you can get in for 50, it's costing you 90 bucks to get in, it's done, cha-ching. Because you're not going to hang up the phone and say, honey, does $90, is $90 a problem? And then call back. No, it doesn't happen like that. It's actually the exact reverse. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, they come once a year. I mean, go ahead.